guys actually enjoy treating your customers like a piece of shit, because that's how I felt when I went to the Alamo Draft House. Okay? You know what? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to text in your little crappy-ass theater. It was too f***ing dark in that place for me to find my seat, alright? I was using my phone as a flashlight to get to my f***ing seat. So excuse me for using my phone in USA, United States of America, where you are free to text in a theater. I was not aware that I couldn't text in your theater, all right? I've texted in all the other theaters in Austin, and no one ever gave a fuck about what I was doing with my fucking phone, all right? And it was on silent. It wasn't on loud. It wasn't bothering anybody. You guys obviously were being assholes to me. And I'm sure that's what you do, you know, to rip people off. You take my money, and then you throw me out. You know, I will never be coming back to your Alamo Draft House or whatever. I'd rather go to a regular theater where people are actually polite. And, you know, I'm going to tell everyone about how you are. And I'm pretty sure you guys are being on purpose. So thanks for making me feel like a customer. Thanks for taking my money.
It's chocolate. You should be very proud, Detective.
Shut up.
You've made a delicious life for yourself.
Said shut the fudge up. Why?
You don't come near here. You stay away from here.
Here he comes.
What?
Are you listening, David? I was saying how much I admire you and your ice creams. You have incredible taste in fine ice creams.
What the fudge did you just say?
6 delicious flavors. They're so lovely. And once they're gone, David, they're gone.
David, step away from the prisoner. Step away, David. Step away.
What's in the box?
I'm not gonna tell you until
What's in the box? What's in the box?
We each have our weaknesses. It appears that gluttony is my sin of choice. And you add the mystery. I couldn't resist.
What's in the malted fudging box?
It's empty, David. It's empty.
No. It was full. 6 delicious flavors. Only available this month.
I know. It was delivered to your home. It was delectable.
Do you think anybody's gonna get, like, offended by this?
Just tall white Karens.
Monotony. It comes in all shapes and sizes. Dull, tedious, just plain boring. But what is this? A contender, perhaps? Something unboring by the looks of it. Jabs right at dull, an uppercut to tedium, something that keeps you on your toes, keeps your head on a swivel. A knockout punch to your old, boring workouts. Welcome to Fight Camp.
If we're honest, who wants to roll less travel? It's harder to teach us. Who wants the difficult route?
If you support safety in our schools, you will support the National Guard to come in here and keep our students safe.
People say, these students have changed. These students are lazy.
Your children aren't learning disability, they lazy.
Get students engaged so they don't
want to skip classes. They want to be in their classrooms.
There are teachers in this profession who should not be teachers. There are teachers in this profession who don't care about children.
These students don't want to learn. No, the adults have changed. See, the parents don't have the back of the teachers.
He ain't slow. He ain't got no learning problem. His parents didn't give him a foundation.
Young people as a nation, we sorely need the depth and breadth of your intelligence, character, and also your clarity.
I think about, in particular, the history of people that look like me who are getting cheated.
So if you're asking me right now as an educator, what's wrong with these kids? There's nothing wrong with them.
Teachers are the most important people in the world.
They're whimpering in fear, and we're sitting here scared of them.
Because if they get it right, they'll change the world because they're in charge of the most important resource, and that's our children.
Shaolin shadow boxing and the Wu-Tang sword style. If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
On guard. I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
Same with you. Same with you.
Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of Reach Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, Two Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. Two Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, two lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
Master Yoda I am. And listen you must to hulazoom.com.
Shaolin Shadow.
Oscar Mike Ray.
Hey, it's Levi from Draft in the Circuits. I'm on assignment this week with the booth in Worcester, Mass. for the PBR Velocity Tour. Tune in Tuesday night in the booth. We're going to do a recap of this event. Don't forget Wednesday nights, Draft in the Circuits. Talking racing. See you then.
Marcus Mast is one of the top 20 in the Velocity Tour from Middlebury, Indiana. Folks, at the 18th stop, he knows right now that if he can ride this bull, there are a bunch of points that he can take home with him tonight.
Yeah, the Kansas City Outlaw knows what's at stake. He's made 3 trips to the pinnacle of our sport, and I'm talking about the PBR World Finals. And a man that knows how to get there, he knows what it takes, but now it's in do or die moments. It's stop number 18. It's time for Marcus Mast to step up to the plate tonight and take a swing like we have watched him do time and time again. Here he comes, Marcus. Can he? Will he? Yes, he will! Steve, if there was ever a moment when we needed another 8-second ride, the man comes through.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just watched the best ride of the night, 83.5 points. Yep, you can swap hands, you can say, you can cheer and scream, because that's good stuff. Now let's see if we can do it again.
But now it's time to make this even more interesting, Steve. Because the man that you're about to meet stepped on American soil not very long ago. Not very long ago, Alfonso Quintino, the man getting ready, a man that we have watched already win 2 events this season. Can he do it again and set himself up for tomorrow? Come on, Alfonso! Curtain on our night. There has been 7 PBR World Champions in the history of our sport. But Alfonso Quintino, he wants one bad, but he's got to earn it. Yes! The Brazilian, the 27-year-old, trying to claim victory number 3 on this Pendelton Whisky Velocity Tour. A man that's trying to become number 1 and take home the gold in Corpus Christi. He keeps riding like this, he's gonna do it. How loud can you get? 86.5 points! So, Alfonso now moves to that number 1 spot, 169.5 on 2 bulls. Going in maybe to the number 1 spot in that championship go round.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
You like some motherfucking action heroes in it. Yeah.
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is the proof.
Step into the twisted mind of my literature, designed to get into the depths of your mind, administer sickness around to mimic the likes of snuff cinema. What you must get into, you're nothing but pups. Remember you Homer and Happy Simpson, son. Nothing Ithaca. Talkers like the northern half of Korea's peninsula. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister.
Lane made that beat. I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches they hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, this shit was easy. If only I make it, keep this shit on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak ass hoes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that ish, cause I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing.
All right, it's your boy broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. It is February 25th, 2025. We are almost done with the winter season. I can't wait. Here in New England, we're at 40 degrees. So people are out already wearing shorts and drinking iced coffees up here in New England. My first guest is waiting to come on here up in the upper left-hand corner. Let me get into my sponsors. But thank everybody for showing up last week, supporting the show, watching the show from around the world. All you people in Thailand and China and all these other spots around the world checking out the booth. Man, I love it. I love checking the analytics and seeing it. Michael Douglas Barretto, one of my sponsors. I've got an Xbox. If my drift controller starts to drift or messes up, I get it out to this guy. I'm back to gaming 24, 48 hours. My artist, Veana Marie, her music's available everywhere, 494,000 streams. It's Personal was the last project. Her new project is going to be called Blacklisted. And also make sure to meet and visit Veana Marie down at Brockton Beer Company. She started a little stint down there as a beer tender. So if you want to go down there and support her, check her out at Brockton Beer Company. Tactical Target Systems, those are those zombie targets. When you see me at the range, blowing off some steam, them badass zombie targets, life size. Tactical Target Systems is where I get those. I love Boston Sports. That's my man Marlon Williams. Head on down there, get yourself one of those t-shirts that you see Jaylen Brown wearing. Last week, he had my man Peyton Pritchett with the Pritch Please shirts on. Go on down there, support my man, black-owned business. I love BostonSports.com. Kimberly Ann, Empowerment Photography. Ladies, you want to take those pictures that you never thought you'd take? Reach out to Kimberly Ann, Empowerment Photography. She'll put you in a setting and in a place where you'll feel comfortable. Take those pictures that you never thought you could take. My artist, Veana Marie, is pictured there in that ad. And then another black-owned business, Underwatch Protective Services. My man, Daryl Smith. If you need any type of security for your concert or event or any type of private security, if you need armed guards, reach out to Underwatch Protective Services. And before we get into talking about the PBR, I got to get into my first guest in the upper left-hand corner. This guy came to me through another person, Kevin Jeffries, a.k.a. Lito, who you guys know from Happy Hour with Lito. Also, my man coming up at 9:30 with me with Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor podcast. He's going to be coming up with me on there. But SoL, Stay On Lit, my man up here, he's part of our Black Men's Wellness group, which goes on every Thursday night. This is a group for, for black men. Come on and talk in a safe place, safe environment. I've had some people ask me, it's only for black men. No, it's not one of these inclusive groups. The reason why we have a Black Men's Wellness group is because for those who know in the black community, black men really don't discuss mental wellness issues. It's always been looked down upon when a black man is considered having mental health issues. That person's always like Crazy Jim or whatever. We've always put that down. So we want to keep that within the community, help the community. But he's on here. He's with me tonight. And before we get into these topics later on in my second guest, SoL, man, introduce yourself. Let these people know why you up on here, boy.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? My name is SoL, aka Mr. Stay On Lit from Cincinnati, Ohio. I am an artist, I'm a writer, I'm an MC, I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm a storyteller. I just an artist. I like doing artistic stuff. So, and how I got on here is just like you said, we were part of the Black Man's Wellness Group. And I did a performance early last year, and they had finally got the video together where I did one of the performances for the Culture Hip Hop Art Museum. And I said I had to upload this because this is one of my best performances of this particular song. And I sent it out to the chat. Everybody was asking me, we haven't seen anything. You got bars? You got bars? Let's see them bars. Well, I gave it to him, and Sinister One was like, "Hey, you dope. I gotta have you on my show." So we finally here. I'm fine, time, baby.
Good stuff, good stuff. And you know what? It's funny because some of the things you do, and everybody in the chat that's in this chat right now, Doug John Macedo, Homeland Hero Salute podcast, and Fubar Studios podcast. He's in the chat. His show's on Wednesdays at 6. Dave Haggerty, thank you for popping up in the chat. Thank you for everybody in the chat. One of the things that you do that I'm a fan of, and I've been a fan of for a long time, and they used to actually do it here at Massasoit College on Thursday night, is you do some spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
And I know growing up as a kid, you know, back in the day before you had rap, I remember my dad was a big fan of spoken word, and my dad used to have all these Last Poets albums. Anybody who knows spoken word, you know about the Last Poets.
Yeah, Last Poets, Bill Scott Heron, like you talking to me right now, man.
You know, so my dad used to, take us to even, these guys would come around, and it's funny because back when we was younger, in the black community, and we was younger in the 70s and early 80s, it was nothing walking through the projects and seeing somebody that had like this album out, this big out, because back then that's how the black community really was. It wasn't this hate and the stuff that goes on now where young rappers are losing their lives and they got to get out the hood because of the hate and the jealousy. You could have a guy like George Clinton walking through the projects and he would be good, you know what I'm saying? Because people respected him. And I remember my dad taking us to see like Baby Boy Blue. He was a guy that used to tell all these rhymes and stuff, and then my dad would tell us about the Last Poets, and then when they came around the town to the parks and stuff, we used to go see them. And one of the ones they used to do is When the Revolution Comes. and it, when I tell you it's timeless, you could play that today and teach some ninjas something.
Right.
So how did you find spoken word and get into spoken word? Because you're younger than me. And spoken word really, it's kind of more a behind the scenes underground type thing.
Well, I got into really, I always loved words, especially wordplay. I loved how words sound if they was said a certain kind of way. So it was automatically that I was going to be involved in some type of writing in some form. But actually, it was with I was with a friend, and they had said the word poetry, and I was like, I don't know, it was like the first time I heard that word, maybe, or just the first time I like recollected as in like high school, early high school, and I was like, what is that? And how this particular person described it, I fell in love with it without reading an ounce of poetry. Though I probably heard some poetry, I never really, even heard really recollect a poem. But at that point, it just like hit me that, okay, this is something you can do with words. And so how I got into it was kind of like hearing a little bit of what Shakespeare was doing, and more so Edgar Allan Poe. And I sat down one time, I was in a position where I could not voice my opinion. It was just silence. So the only thing I had to get it out was a pen and paper. So I wrote my first poem and my first rap in the same night. And then as time moved on, I kept on just writing and writing. I didn't really investigate too much. A little bit of Edgar Allan Poe, a little bit more now of Edgar Allan Poe, now that I can really understand and feel his work and see what the similarities, because sometimes people would say I was similar to him. but I never really saw out other poetry. And as time went on, that transferred into rap and really get my feet wet there. And then about 2017, a whole bunch of stuff just fell through in my life. I lost friends, I lost a relationship, lost a job, and it was only me. And my cousin at the time was talking to me, and she just looked at me and say, "Are you a poet?" I was like, I mean, I ain't really wrote poems since high school. It was like, you just talk like you're a poet. And then I started going on YouTube for all their poetry and start really, really researching different poets. And by 2018, I was hitting open mics, doing more poems, writing again, and then that rotated to me actually doing shows for hip hop. So I do spoken word and hip hop shows. So here we are today.
Nice. So do you prefer to rather do spoken word, or do you perform rap? Which one is the better you like?
Both of them are interchangeable for me. At heart, I'm a poet, because even when I was starting to rap and they'd say, it's cool, but you too poetic. Yeah, and which is funny to me because I've heard like Talam AC, who's a spoken word artist. Probably, if you don't know who Talam AC, look him up. He is pretty much the reason why spoken word is in the space that it is today. He's one of the not forefathers, but one of the artists that really pushed it forward. And he had said it's interchangeable, poetry and hip hop, because hip hop fed poetry fed hip hop, then hip hop fed poetry, and it kept on going like that again and again. So for me, I just like to perform. Yeah, I always like to perform. I'm always thinking from a theater type of sense. So whether it's all words to me, as long as I'm expressing myself, it doesn't matter what flavor it is. If you would ask me a preference, do I prefer to do it with tracks or with a live band? That's really the only thing. But all of them is the same to me, because I'm expressing myself and I'm doing it in a way that gets responses out of people, reactions out of people.
Right. And you make a great point about the evolution of rap and poetry and how it fed off of both, and both gained popularity off of both. And one of the things, being a guy who grew up and seeing rap come up from its infant stages, one of the biggest things when people ask me what is the one thing that I hate when it talks about the history of hip hop, and one of the things I hate, even though it's probably one of the biggest elements to the rap genre, I hated the fact that gangster rap and 2 Live Crew rap had to go to the point where it was a court thing, and it changed the face of rap to where I feel like that at that point in time, a certain part of white America wanted to make rap go in a different direction. For those who don't understand where I'm getting at, is that when you go to the 80s, and early 90s, a lot of rap was based in the deep of poetry. Some of your best lyricists came from the 80s and the 90s. And then it was almost like the starting of the dumbing down of rap began in the 90s when a certain part of white America wanted to take rap away, and then they decided, but we can make millions off this music by putting a little label. People don't realize this. The Republicans in a certain part of white America, they put this whole narrative out there that they wanted to destroy rap. But then when they found out to put that parental sticker on there, they realized that sales went through the roof on rap music, like to the point where these record companies were making a ton of money, and they were like, well, hold on here. Now all of a sudden, the Tipper Gores and everybody was, and her people were like, okay. And now you've got, and this is one of the reasons why you see rap music crossed over, because the white neighborhoods began to take that rap music in, that gangster rap, that parental sticker. If you was white and you lived in the suburbs and you had that latest NWA with that parental sticker on it, that was like a big FU to your parents. You know what I'm saying? And ended up being, NWA, Dre, all these people. And that to me was the dumbing down of rap music. And that's part of the reason why I'm so happy now to see what Kendrick did at the Super Bowl. not just in the lyrical sense, but even on a visual sense. Because sometimes when I used to go see some of this poetry slam with spoken word poetry, some people would provide you with also a visual to go along with that. And Kendrick did just that at the Super Bowl. He provided this whole thing of senses visually and in your ears that we're going to be, you could study, you could do a college course on what Kendrick did at the Super Bowl. You know, when the whole part with A minor and they have an overhead shot and it's the scale, a music scale, and then the dancers are in the G clef and he's sitting in the A minor. And I'm like, this is the type of things that go into that spoken word. This is the type of stuff that you see. So for you, how do you get into that zone? How do you get into that creative process? How do you get those creative juices flowing to get to that point?
Well, I'm in a different space than what I was beforehand. Before I would just write. And I feel like it's basically, technically, functionally, it's the same thing. But coming more from a place back when I was writing, I felt like I had something to prove. Back in high school, back in, even when starting up in a group called TTFL, where I was in before things hit the fan. My essence was I gotta prove myself. Like a whole song that I created that's like people just want to stay hearing from me. I wrote that because someone told me out of the group, it's like, you just ain't got enough funk for it. You're just too poetic. And so the energy was just, okay, it's sharpened. I'm glad you said that because it sharpened my steel. It's like, oh, y'all don't think I can get down? Oh, I'm gonna show you how I can get down. So it was mainly competition. It was healthy competition of just being the best. And now that I'm older and my environment's changed, my mental has changed, and the landscape of it, which I think is when we talk about Kendrick's just whole year one, it's a change of we're tired of hearing the same old rhetoric. And part of that rhetoric is the cliches, the stereotypes, the putting on a show, basically. And so what that put me in a weird state was I found myself I couldn't create anymore unless I was writing down who you are really. And so getting back into creativity now, which has been bursting a lot more, is just being authentically honest, even when at times I'm putting myself on a spotlight that I'm not comfortable. So a lot of my writing now is still dope, but I'm giving you more of myself. So getting myself in that zone is also I just have hope right now. I probably have more hope right now for the future than I ever had. Before I was just kind of like doing whatever, trying to figure out what was going on. So what gets me going is thinking ahead of being in the present moment, but also looking forward of what can I create? Okay, I did that. What else can you do? I did that. Can you take it further? So I look to it's more of like a moving forward energy.
And you know, I like I said, I love it. We used to have it here at Massasoit. Chris Reinwick was a guy who used to put these poetry slams on, and I'll never forget. There was this one young boy one time. He was autistic, and he went up there and he spoke about life from his eyes as a poetry moment. And I'll tell you, it was one of the most deepest, realist things that I have ever seen in a poetry slam. Funny because my fingers was hurting because people don't know, when you go to poetry slam, you don't clap, you snap. And my fingers was hurting because he brought tears to my eyes. But then there was one girl, she got up there. There was one girl, she went up one time, and she talked about the sexual abuse she went through with a stepfather. And, you know, one of these things, I'm going to let you answer this because you probably could explain. What does that do for someone when you take something personal? That's something that's in your soul. And to release that to the public in that environment, what is that like? Because that's something, being molested by your stepfather and then putting it to poetry and then sharing it with an auditorium What is that like, man?
Well, I've never had that particular experience, so I can't directly answer that. I will say a lot more of my writing is delving deep into traumas that I've experienced. And before I would shy away from them. And that also added to the identity of just talk about the bravado or just general stuff. What that does, but especially now, I go to a lot more poetry open mics than I do rap shows or hip hop events. Here and there I go, but nothing really hits me like back to off the wall, off the block at the Mockbee. But when you put yourself in a position to put yourself bare, it's almost it's terrifying and liberating at the same time, because you're terrified that you're telling something that may put yourself into such a bad light that you'll reject it. There's a reason why public speaking is the number one fear, and second is death. Just because genetically we're used to being in a tribe. When you pull yourself out further from the tribe, it's dangerous. And to talk about such taboo topics, especially in our community, we don't talk about this. We don't go to the next door neighbor about our problems. We don't speak about that type of stuff. When you let that stuff go, it's almost like you're tearing a part of yourself away from yourself. Like you're giving up your baby to the world and do it as you please. But once you do that, it's such a liberating feeling. Like the first time I performed a poem that was based on my breakup, I was shaking, terrifying, because I didn't think I belonged there. I didn't think what I was saying was, it was just an unnerving, very personal poem that made it even worse. But after getting off that stage, I finally did it, and someone looked me in the eye who was actually a dope poet who featured that I didn't think was even listening because he was outside smoking a cigarette. He looked me in the eye and say, "I was listening to every word you said. I appreciate you for bearing your soul like that. Keep doing what you're doing." So it's necessary that we have these conversations and communicate, because if we don't deal with it, it's going to mess with us inside. So it's just as healthy as it is almost dying, in a sense. You're dying to be rebirthed.
Great stuff. We're at 7:24. We're going to let you introduce this video, but first I want you to give a shout out before we get you out of here. How can people follow you? How can they check you out? Your social media? You've got a Linktree. Let them all know.
Yes, so you can follow me. Well, actually, you can click on the Linktree, and it has all my Facebook, Instagram, my YouTube, my blogging website, Compose and Soul, at linktree.com/ actually, let me pull it up so I don't screw this up.
Actually, you sent it to me. So what I'm going to do, you sent it to me. So actually, I'm going to copy it right now. Hold on, people. I know I'm looking at my phone. I'm going to go into the live chat right now, people. And I'm going to drop this Linktree link to my guest SoL right here. Bam. Here it is.
Yes,
Stay on lit.
Yes, but it is linktr.ee/stay on lit. But if you type in Linktree, stay on lit, that's STAYONLIT, you can find everything you need, as the video that we're about to show on here, some more performances, my video that I did on a stage play called Get Off Me, some of my music, more music coming soon, my spoken word, and anything else that I'm connected to. What was the other question?
No, that's it. I'm going to let you set us up and introduce your video before we get you. Oh, okay, yeah, because you did your Linktree has all your stuff. Put in Patterson, what's going on? I see you in the chat. I dropped that Linktree in there for you. So what we can do is we can set up this and let you get out of here. Kind of set us up what this is and what we're about to see, and then we'll go from there.
So I did an event for the culture hip hop. It was an art exhibit presentation at the Cincinnati Art Museum, and me, Kyrie, Yaya Wrights, curated by Ryan Nicole Leary and Haley Perkins of Cincinnati Art Museum, to do it was for the culture hip hop exhibit. So it did different things about fashion, graffiti, writing, style, and all the other stuff about our culture, which is truly culture. Hip hop culture is rebellion. And I had the opportunity on doing a piece in one of the exhibits that showcased a short film called Mad City, encouraged by Mr. K. Lamar from his album Good Kid, Mad City. And I did this song called Grand Rising that is basically my standard because it gets me up every day telling me that there's a reason for me being here. So its main sentiment is every day you woke up, you're a winner, keep on winning. Don't mind if you fall, get back up, try again till you do. So that's what that song's about. It's called Grand Rise and Try Again, which is also on my Bandcamp.
Nice. So people, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We're gonna let you get out of here. We're gonna take a look at this video that you sent me, and then we're gonna take a quick break, and then I'll be back with my next guest, Levi from the PBR. So here's that video for you guys. Once again, thank you, SoL, for being on here, Mr. Stay On Lit. You're watching the booth. Don't leave. Here's the video for you guys. Here we go.
And I find it very appropriate because the music that's usually played here is Sing About Me, and it talks about people that in his life that passed away. And it inspired me to do this piece, which is called Grand Rising, because I deal with mental health issues, and I needed something to help me get out of bed in the morning. So if you have, everybody just take a deep breath. You're winners, because some people didn't get to do that this morning.
Amen. Amen.
So cherish who's in front of you, cherish yourself, love on each other, and as Ryan so gracefully said, give yourself and the people around you flowers while it's still here.
Yes.
Let's do it. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Loads of peace. Grand Rising. From east to peace. Oh dear to these stanzas for your heart to sing. I take a look at my face. Mama reminds me I'm such a disgrace. Never seem to learn until it's too late. I'll wait to make another mistake on top of mistakes. Then my heart informs me I am not perfect. Past failure, self-build up purpose. Only way to change on purpose. If it's this hard for this long, worth it. It didn't work at first, we'll go and try again. Oh, you missed your shot, then do try again. Pick yourself back up, go ahead and try again. Why don't we learn to fall so we can try again? No matter when to shine, always try again. Every day and night, go and try again. Let forgiveness sin, let the guilt sin. That's how you win, my friends, go and try again. Know your essence is so white. Your presence is a present, made of iridescent light. Be present in this present, make the best of what is time. Forever no exception, never purpose of the skies. Within your youth begin, your truth within your wings within. Believe you can fly like an eagle, soaring high over steeples with a wiggle that's equal to the stride of a leader. Every morning, take your life by the hands. Looking in your mirrors with a love of a lens. So the ball to your rhythm as you lead the dance. And the moment telling you and I this in advance. I'm present in this present who's a blessing for this time. My presence is a present made of iridescent light. I love Steve and wise with grandeur. When you fall short, climb back to the standard. I take a look at my face. My reminds me I'm such a disgrace. Never seem to learn until it's too late. A way to make another mistake on top of mistakes. Then my heart informs me I am not perfect. Past failures help build up purpose. Only way to change on purpose. If it's this hard for this long, worth it. It didn't work at first, well go and try again. Oh, you missed the shot, then do try again. Pick yourself back up, go ahead and try again. Why don't we learn to fall so we can try again? No matter when to shine, always try again. Every day and night, go and try again. Let the forgiveness in, let the guilt sin. That's how you win, my friends, go and try it didn't work at first, try again. Oh, you missed the shot, try again. Pick yourself back up, go ahead, try again. Why don't we learn to fall so we can try again? No matter where you shine, always try again. Every day and night, go and try again. Let forgive the sin, let the guilt the sin. That's how you win, my friend. Try again. Hey, hey, hey. Try again. Hey, hey. Try again. Hey, hey. Try again. Hey, hey. Go ahead and try again. Hey, hey. Everybody. Try again. Everybody in the building, go and try again. Every day, every night, go and try again. So go, try again. And I'm so good ascensions. Thank you.
Back. All right, we're back here in the booth, broadcasting live. And hey, I got to thank Stay On Lit for coming on the show. SoL, SOL, S.
That was awesome.
Capital S, lowercase O, capital L. You know, we've had a lot of people come on, and you know, spoken word is one of these things that I'm kind of a fan of.
Yeah.
And you know, spoken word is one of the foundations of hip hop. You know, if you're a fan of hip hop, you know, you would have never been no hip hop if there wasn't that foundation of last poets and things of that stuff. He mentioned Gil Scott-Heron, who was, you know, 60s and 70s. That man's music was timeless. But now you've got my guy. We were away for the weekend. We were in Worcester. We were hanging out once again with the Cowboys and the Bulls. And it was a great time. I got to thank Casey. And Tyler.
They're the best.
For hooking us up. You know, once again, they hooked this guy Lee up when they were up in Manchester, New Hampshire. And here they are. The Velocity Tour. Worcester Centrum. The Worcester DC now. This was the first time I've ever gone. Well, no, it isn't, because I did do Connecticut back to back. I did a weekend for Connecticut years ago with Zemi. But once again, it was a great time. But I got to mention, Lee, for those who are about to watch what we're going to show you, we got a ton of great clips. And I got to tell you guys something. You know, Lee is a guy that knows this sport. I'm going to let Lee just say real quick the experience that he does have with the rodeo world.
Well, thanks, Keith. I appreciate it. It was really good. You know, we've known each other going on 3 years now. And this is the first time Keith and I have actually met face to face. We see each other in two dimensions, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. You know, and we have a friendship. We chat offline, and it was actually really good to sit down. We had breakfast on Sunday before the event, which was some of the best breakfast I've ever had.
Mine's is still in the fridge.
But so it was really good to sit down and spend some quality time with Keith, and we had a really great time. And so back in the day when I was much younger and I didn't have as much gray hair, I was in the military, as a lot of the fans know out there, and the military has their own rodeo cowboy association, and I was part of that on a couple of tours that I did. One time was over in Korea. And here in the States, I did some stuff with local rodeos out in California when I was there. I've been in the Western lifestyle pretty much my whole life. You know, I ended up, I had cattle and horses when I lived in California. I was in the military. And, you know, this way of life is just something, it's just part of who I am. So getting to see rodeo out here in New England is always a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And the fans are, as you're seeing an upcoming interview here, the fans here at these events, they love this stuff. Like the DCU Center, Saturday night, to the gills, packed. It wasn't an empty seat in the house. Sunday comes along. Now, typically, the championship rounds held at night, but they held this one during the day at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The place was jumping again. I mean, I think it was probably 98% full on a Sunday, and that's hard because you're up against so much other stuff, so many other sporting events. But it was really nice to see. And Saturday night there was a lot of fresh faces. Sunday, guy sitting next to us, him and his son, they were Ray and Jack. They've never been to a rodeo. So it was their first time. And then, John and Faye in this interview we're going to do their first times there. It was really awesome. So, it was really cool to see all these first timers and see these people get to soak in, what rodeo is all about. It was really cool. So,
and it's great because, it's funny because we talk about, Cinestorm Productions. One of the things we talk about is what's
your podcast gonna do?
Yeah, what is it doing? And Lee actually came to me through Travis, who has Oscar Mike Radio. And the funny thing is this is a guy, like he said, we've known each other for 3 years. This is a guy that he came on through Drafting the Circuits. And, you know, he was new to this. He did some radio in college, at Dean College and stuff. And, you know, he was like, this was something he wanted to get back. And right out the gate, on Drafting the Circuits. And he's on this show with a guy who has knowledge like Frank Santarowski. Richard Yowden is a friggin' Toyota engineer for racing. And you've got Luis Torres, who just won second place for photography in, you know, in the racing world for his pictures that he takes.
Yeah, awesome photojournalist.
Lee comes in here, and, you know, in his first season, you know, we get Stingray Rob, we get interviews with an NHRA champion. It's, you know, we're talking with monster truck, you know, and we end the first year, and Lee's like, holy shit, like what else can come? And then here we are now. Here we are. We're covering the PBR now. What's it been for you, real quick, before? What has this change been for you?
So it's really, it's the change going into Drafting the Circuits was really excellent for me. I mean, I'm a motorhead guy. I'm a mechanic. It's what I did in the military. I was, you know, I fixed airplanes. So racing and all that stuff is just second nature. And then, you know, on top of that, when you said, oh, hey, you know, we might have an opportunity to cover the PBR in Manchester, New Hampshire, I was all like, all right, let me go get the hat. Let's give this a whirl, you know? And ended up, you know, I talked to a couple cowboys there that night, a couple riders, and, you know, it's starting to take off. And, but yeah, it's, you know, the past 3 years has just been, it's been excellent. Like I feel like I'm back in high school and in college again, back on the radio doing all this stuff. It excites me and gets me going. And, yeah, I mean, it's a thrill to do this every week. I love it.
And I like it too. And, you know, it's great because it's, you know, all this has been under Sinister One Productions. We had a nice conversation when we were out together, and everybody knows that, you know, Sinister One Productions, that's my company. Yeah. We do a lot behind the scenes. And one of the things that I loved about Lee is that he knows the sport. He can talk about the sport. And, you know, I just told Lee, hey, this weekend, you know, it's going to be you. You're going to be the guy holding the interviews, because I don't want to be on camera talking, because if I'm up there, I'm just going to talk the questions as a fanboy would. I'm not going to get into the meat and potatoes that you all are about to see. And you're going to see this. You're going to see this when he's talking with Marcus Mast and when he's talking with Brandon Chambers. Yeah. You're going to see why I got this guy doing what he does. And when I say that I'm truly blessed for having guys like Rob Resnick, you know, a U.S. Army colonel, retired, that was a JAG officer, on First Tuesdays with Ken Diesenhoff, who's a defense attorney. We talked about what we have on Drafting the Circuits. We talk about the guys that I have as veterans, Doug Macedo and yourself and Travis Proddington. I'm truly blessed, and without these guys around me, and my artist Veana Marie, who does music, Sinister One Productions would probably not be where it is today, because we're really kicking butt. And, you know, I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Again this weekend. You're people you're about to see. You're about to see when we say, what's your podcast doing? You're about to see it. You know, a lot of people take notes. Take notes. We're gonna get into this first clip and let you introduce this. You know, one of the things we did when we're there, we like to get the whole foundation of the show, the event, and they put on a hell of an event. PBR puts on a great event, family friendly. They get their prayer in, they get the national anthem in. They did have a touching moment on Sunday that I did record it, but then I said, you know what? I don't want to air it. I felt like it was a very personal moment, but there was a guy who I believe he was a veteran, but big PBR fan. This would have been his first PBR event, and he took ill and he passed away. So what they did was they left that seat empty, and the people who were supposed to be there with him, they left the seat empty, and then they came up and they did a nice presentation for this gentleman. And you don't see many sporting events do that. I mean, they do it, but it's part of the program. You know what I'm saying? This definitely was something that was done and approached to them at the last minute, and they said, "Yeah, we can fit that in."
Yeah, yep. And what they do, you know, in the PBR is, you go to these events, and both Saturday and Sunday, they in every PBR event I've been to, they always pick out a fan of the night. And it's, the first event, it was a young gentleman who literally sat right behind me. Like, we get good seats to these events because we cover it for the media. He was in row 2, right behind me, and he was a gentleman that had some challenges in life, and they presented him with a PBR buckle, just like they did, to the fans of the night this past weekend, and the buckle they presented to his family, that was a buckle. It wasn't a fan buckle. It was a legit PBR buckle. It wasn't a championship buckle by any means, but it was a buckle that they give away. Not just, it's not something you could buy at the concession stand. It was, it was specially made for the PBR for whatever purpose they deem necessary.
That special case. Yep.
Yeah. And it was really special to see, the gentleman, I think he passed away the day before Valentine's Day, and it was his first rodeo event. He's been a lifelong fan, and he was excited to come see it. And when Hippie was talking to him, introducing everybody, I mean, there was the people that were going to accompany him. I mean, you could tell that the emotions were getting to them. It was really special. It was special to be there and special to witness it. The whole stadium, you could just feel the energy and the electricity revolving around this family and coming together for them during this time and making that night absolutely special for them. And it made it special for everybody that was sitting in the DCU on Saturday night. It really did.
Yeah, it was great stuff. Dave Haggerty, what's going on? I see you in the chat. Arnie Briggs, oh my God, Arnie Briggs, Marshfield Community Access Television. Arnie Briggs, man, love to see you in the chat. Puddin Patterson, one of my Slingshot crew, she's got a Can-Am Spider. She's in the chat. So we're gonna set this first clip up. This first clip is John and Faye.
Yeah, great couple. They were just happened to be kind of right by us, and I'll let them tell the story. It's really cool to see them. So, John and Faye, here's to you.
Right, here we go. John and Faye, and I always like to mention the wife first. Here we go.
Hey, it's Levi. I'm in the stands with John and Faye here at the PBR in Worcester. This is their first time at a PBR event. Are y'all excited for this or what?
So excited.
Oh my God. This is going to be so much fun. So you've all never been to a PBR, right?
Yeah.
Do you even know what you're in store for tonight?
Little bit. Pretty excited.
So this is going to be like rodeo times 10. Super fast, lots of fireworks, lots of fire.
Bring it.
Yeah, this will be a good time. Look, we appreciate y'all coming out to the PBR tonight. Don't forget to check us out the booth Tuesday night, Drafting the Circus Wednesday. Yeah. We'll see y'all
at the booth.
Yeah!
Look at that. They were pretty happy. Pretty good time. And I like Lee. I like how, here's the thing too, it's funny. Lee knows how to get people fired up and come out their shell. Yeah, Lee! It's got to be the beard.
It's got to be.
It's funny because I see Lee. We see him on Draft the Circus. And when I see Lee, every time I see Lee with the cowboy hat on, remember, if you guys remember, if you listen to the show back in the day when I was on WXBR, we had a psychic on, and she told people what they were in their past lives. And when she got to me, she had said that I was this cowboy, this possible lawman is what she saw in my past life. And I thought it was funny because I'm a huge fan of cowboy movies. Growing up, I used to rush home so I could see Shane, The Long Ride. My dad took me to see every Clint Eastwood movie that was out there that was a spaghetti western. One of my most favorite cowboy movies of all time, even though I was an 80s kid, is not Young Guns. It's The Long Riders. The Long Riders. Sam Peckinpah. This is a movie. Look, if you haven't seen the cowboy movie, The Long Riders, there's something wrong with you. This was a movie where they took all of the great Hollywood brothers to play the baddest cowboys in that period. So you have the Keach brothers, the Quaid brothers. You have all these brothers playing all of those bad guys from that day. And it has one of the best shootout scenes in probably, I would say, if I had to rank my shootout scenes from movies, I would say the Long Riders scene in the town when they come in and it's all done in slow motion. That is probably in my top 5 shootouts for cowboy movies.
And you have to remember that the cinematography back then in Hollywood special effects was completely different than what it was.
CGI. No CGI.
I mean, like you look at Star Wars, The New Hope, kind of like the start of CGI. But before that, it was literally sound effects were made by clapping wood together.
Stuntmen and animal trainers. and there's some stuff in this movie that I know this was before the PETA days. This was before, animal actor. And there's some stuff in this scene that you're gonna be like, oh my God, the horse going. There's a lot of stuff. But again, it is if you haven't seen Long Riders, it's a great movie. It's one of the best cowboy films out there. And I loved it. I loved it. So if I had to take a look at Lee as one of these guys, Lee, you always remind me of the gold prospector. Whenever I see Lee with the cowboy hat and the beard, he's that guy that's standing in the water with the pan, with his pants rolled up and his ankles showing, and his pot in his hand, and he's got a.
Keith, killing me, man, killing me.
You're the prospector. You got this old beat up horse standing on the shore while you're prospecting.
Pipe sticking out the corner of my lip. Oh, Keith, this is great. I love it. Absolutely love it, man.
And you know everything about the area that you're in. You're that guy. You come up and you're just that eccentric guy who knows, if you go down there to the wild
third
berry
tree
bush,
on the right,
there's gonna be a little pond there with maybe a little bit of coyote.
The shrub that's 4 years old. Then you can make a left. Oh God. Oh, Keith. Love it.
Oh man. Prospector. You know when that train comes through on them tracks.
Oh. Fresh.
Good stuff. But here we go again. This is Lee, and this is your interview with Marcus J. Mast, who this guy was the winner, as you guys saw him get the 8-second ride. Talk about this interview because this was actually the next day after he won.
This was Sunday.
Spirits were high. Yeah, I'll let you talk about this one.
So real quick, in the PBR, there's a couple different levels of competition. You have Unleash the Beast, which is the top echelon in PBR. That's where that's the major leagues of the PBR. That's where world champions are crowned. Not that there's other world champions, but so Unleash the Beast is the major leagues of bull riding. And then you have a team league where it's just like football, except each city has 8 or 9 bull riders, and they all compete for a team overall title. And then you have I don't really want to call it a third division, but the next division is called the Velocity Tour, and it's, for better sake of the term, it's the minor leagues. So riders that are up and coming into the sport start off in the Velocity Tour. Riders that may have been in Unleash the Beast that may have had an injury, just like Marcus Mast last season.
Welcome back.
Yeah, almost near-death experience. And, so you can't just do the reps. You have to take the swings. You have to see the pitches. It's the same thing as in baseball. So you got to ride as many bulls as you can to get familiar. Because like Marcus had a long recovery, so you just can't jump onto an A-level bull and expect to perform. So you go to the minors, and that's what the Velocity Tour is. That's where we were this weekend. So the guys they're not of lower caliber. They're just getting their feet wet into the way PBR does business, the bulls that the PBR put riders on, because the bulls are different too across everywhere. So Saturday night, I think there was 30 riders total on both Saturday and Sunday. And in the Longo on Saturday, there was only one guy that covered. And when I say covered means rode the full 8 seconds with no penalties, no falling off, nothing else. He got a score. And if you don't see 8 seconds, you don't get a score. You get a score of 0. So Marcus was the only rider to see a full 8 seconds on Saturday, out of 30 guys, which is speaks volumes, because the bulls were tough. The bulls were very, very tough. And that's just the way the PBR is. They put tough bulls under tough riders. But in Marcus's case, like we talked about in the interview, he's working his way back up. He'll see the big leagues again, but he's just got to get those reps like we do in baseball. So, it was a great interview. Great opportunity to talk with, a former, he's been to the PBR championship, I think 3 times. Hasn't won that final buckle yet, but he's getting there. And he's a darn good rider. So, it was a great chance to sit down and talk with him and get to see what he's all about. And you'll see it in this interview. It went really well.
Cool. We're going to get this interview on with Marcus Mast. I got to say what's up. Frank Zanowski, Z-Man, who I used to go see PBR with back in the day. This is the guy that actually introduced me to PBR. Frank Zanowski's in the chat. Good stuff. Maybe next time we can get Frank to go with us when they come along. But here's our interview with Marcus Mast.
Hey, what's up? It's Levi for the booth, and I am sitting here with my man, Marcus Mast. Marcus, you covered last night, my man. That was good. There wasn't many Cowboys that covered last night, but you're sitting in the hot seat today. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels really good. That's the hard part of bull riding, is you got to stay on or it all goes south. And luckily for me last night, I was able to stay on.
So let's talk about last night's ride. So you watched it, bull came out, went right into your hand. That's really good in bull riding. He's a lefty, right? You're a left-handed guy. So the bull was kind of running around, so Marcus's hand was down in the middle of the circle that the bull was making. I call that the well, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So Marcus was in the well last night, and about 6.5, 7 seconds in, that bull popped out, and you almost went the other way. It was close. Walk me through that.
That bull wasn't the easiest one to ride in the pen last night, but we got the job done. And every day we can get the job done, it's a blessing from the good Lord. So and every day we get out of there safe is huge too. So
yep. And so Marcus was on last week, and he talked to Keith, and I'll just touch on it. Last year you didn't have the best of years. We had a little sideways action last year. How you feeling?
Yeah, last year, it was kind of a rough little battle coming back from breaking my back, so it was a little bit rough, but we're trying to get back to our normal form.
Good. So let's talk Velocity Tour. It's kind of like the minor leagues of the PBR. Guys come in here maybe new to the sport, maybe new to the organization, and they work their way up, just like in Major League in the baseball. They start, you start in the minors and you work your way up. And that's pretty much what you're doing right now, right? You're just getting reps underneath you so you can get back up to the full tour, correct?
Yep, for sure. This is the minor leagues of the PBR. This is where you got to go through this league to get to the major leagues.
Yep.
And you don't ride your bulls here, you're probably not going to ride them there. And on the other hand side, if you don't ride your bulls here, you're not even going to get there.
Right. Yeah. So what's the goal for this year? Are you going to try to get to Corpus Christi this year and then work on getting up to Fort Worth next year, or you want to try to get up Fort Worth, try to get there this year, do you think?
Yeah, there's a title to be won at this level too, so and it pays I think a couple tens of thousands to win that title, so there's a title to be won here. There's obviously a title to be won here today.
Yep.
And we got a bunch more events on the schedule. You win the year-end minor leagues, you automatically advance to the finals of the major leagues. So,
cool.
I think we'll try and go for it all.
Yeah, and that sounds like a good plan. So what's your goals today? Who do you got who's your draw for today?
It's kind of hard to pronounce his name. Ficken Gruben. Sounds like a Dutch name to me.
Absolutely.
I got Amish background, so I should know it, but I don't know what it means.
Have you seen this bull before? Have you ridden him before?
No, this is a debut bull. This is the first time we'll ever see him, so just got to ride him jump for jump and hope and pray for the best and try and keep a leg on each side and a hand in the middle.
Yep. So this isn't your first. You're not a rookie to the PBR. You've been around this sport for a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, they ain't called me a rookie in a long time, so it's been a few years.
So, what's your most memorable ride in the PBR since you've been here with the company?
Most memorable was 2 years ago at Outlaw Days at our home event. For the Kansas City Outlaws, I rode Hoka for 90 in the bonus round to get the event win.
Wow, that's awesome.
That was a big deal for me.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to get another W today, but I'm not jinxing nothing. We're going to knock on some bull shoots here. We're not going to jinx him, but he's got a great opportunity today. He did really good last night. We saw the footage from last night's event, and you were pumped, man, because you jumped up on the side of the arena, and you were right on top of us, just having a blast with the fans, and they really react to that. And it was a good ride for you. Really looking forward to seeing what you do today. Yeah, so we appreciate it. Again, Levi, Marcus Mast. Let's give this guy a thumbs up so we can get him on to the Corpus Christi finals and then maybe on to Dallas Fort Worth. But we'll see how it goes. But man, it was awesome. Yeah, it was appreciate talking to you, and we'll be hooting and hollering for you today on your ride.
I can use everything you got.
We got it for you, buddy.
All right. So I got this little red bull back here. He's a debut bull, so brand new bull. Jump for jump and pray for the best.
There we go. Brand new bull. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're back here. We want to thank Marcus Mast for this interview. That was a great time. Follow him on Instagram at Marcus J. Mast. Marcus actually was on the booth last week, so I got to think about him for being on the booth with us last week. And Mr. Melodic was on the show last week. They had their show with the Locks on Saturday night, so I got to thank Melodic for coming on the show last week. Frank Zanowski, a lot of people still in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, gals.
Yeah, this next interview coming up, where are we at? We're at 7:59. We're going to go a little bit over tonight because we still got 2 more interviews left. But we got Brandon Chambers, a hell of a ride. He did ride the full 8 seconds, but there was a little bit of controversy there with him possibly grabbing that shoot gate. It was a great one. It was funny because you got real emotional, and when he got off, you were screaming, "Hit the buzzer! Hit the buzzer!
Hit the buzzer!
Have a review it! Hit the buzzer!" And Brandon goes over and he hits the buzzer, and then they have to go and review, and he ends up getting the thumbs up, and it ends up being a great event. But then the next day comes, and we get to interview Brandon, and I'm gonna let you talk about Lee. There's actually a little bit of a connection there between you and Brandon, personal connection.
Yep. So quick backtrack. Finals. Marcus ended up finishing 4th, which is good. He got points, so it wasn't a bust weekend for him. He didn't cover any of his rides on Sunday. He got he rode 3 times on Sunday because he got a re-ride in there as well because the bull gave a foul, so he actually gets to go back and ride again. But didn't end up picking up any covered rides on Sunday. And then Brandon, gentleman, we're going to talk about coming up, who you are correct. We have Brandon and I have a connection. He's from Newport, North Carolina, very small town on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And I lived about 4.5, 5 minutes from Newport, North Carolina for quite a few years when I lived in the Carolinas. And I spent quite a bit of time in Newport. And you'll see here, Brandon and I, we have probably kicked rodeo sand in the same places and just never knew that we'd end up running into each other in Worcester, Massachusetts at a PBR event. So, but Brandon ended up finishing 2nd for the weekend. He got 2 covered rides out of 3. So He, came in second to Alfonso Quintino. Alfonso is he is also a Unleash the Beast rider who is down in the Velocity Tour after an injury, getting his reps taken care of so he can move back up to the Unleash the Beast Tour. And that the way he's leading right now and riding right now, we're going to see him in Unleash the Beast here pretty quick. But this interview with Brandon, really good. It was good to chat with we'll call him a hometown boy. It was nice to get to interview somebody that, like I said, we've kicked sand in the same rodeo arenas probably. Just we really didn't know it at the time. So yeah, really great interview. And you can follow Brandon on the socials too. He's Chambers 0803, I believe. So yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage there, Mr. Keith.
All right, here we go.
All right, hey, it's Levi here at PBR Worcester for the Velocity Tour. I'm with one of my, I want to call them neighbors. This is Brandon Chambers from Newport, North Carolina. And what's your podcast doing? Because I'm at the rodeo with Brandon. And literally, like, we're neighbors. So he grew up in Newport, North Carolina. Yep. I grew up, not really grew up, but I spent a lot of years on Atlantic Beach in North Carolina. And they're neighbors. So it's cool to see Brandon here and awesome to get a chance to talk to him. Good ride last night, my man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was sometimes you just got to get a score on the board and make it to the next round.
So there was a little controversy last night. Walk me through that. What happened?
So the rules in bull riding, of course, 8 seconds, one hand in the rope, other hand can't touch yourself, the bull, or assist yourself with any of the arena.
Yep.
Well, what they called for is the bull kind of come around and ran me into the bucking chutes, and my arm went over and scraped it, which it did touch it, but didn't assist it. So I had to push the replay button, let the judges take a look at it. They confirmed that it wasn't an assist, it was more of a foul with the bull, so they ended up giving me the score.
Yeah, because that happened literally right here.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, it was that chute right there. Yep. It says Corpus Christi on it. And we were sitting right here, we saw it, and we saw the flags come out, and then Brandon done run over to the replay judge and says, nope, I want to see that one again. And it took a couple minutes, but they finally ruled in his favor because it was close. It was 7-8-5. To get a qualified ride, you got to ride 8 seconds. But the quote-unquote infraction happened at 7-8-5, and it really didn't assist him. We could watch it on the big screen, and you could see his hand. It went up and it touched that railing, but he didn't grab it. It just happened to be that downward momentum of the bull. Exactly. So a couple minutes later, the old judges, they gave him a thumbs up. The crowd went crazy because it was a really good ride. What did you end up with last night on that ride?
They didn't. I weren't the highest. I'm top 5 in the round, so I was 70-some points or so. But on a weekend like this, it's not necessarily how many points you are the first round. It's putting those totals together. So I got another round, a bull tonight, a long round, and a short round. So I plan on riding 2 more and putting 3 scores together and making the average pay out.
Yeah, we'll get you a buckle. Goal is to get a buckle today, so we got one more longo. That's where every bull rider rides. And then, so usually it's the top 10 that move on to the short go, and then it's kind of like lottery. You get to pick your own bull on that short go, right?
Some events it is a draft. This event particularly is not a draft.
So it's lottery.
They have them listed in 1 through 10. Yep. And whatever place you come in the short round, number 1 man gets will be the last man out of the chute.
Yep.
The number 10 bull. Yep. 10th guy back has the number 1 bull coming back. So
lower on the higher your number means the later you go in that short go.
Correct. Yes.
And so you want to be high up on the average because you want to go into that last round not really knowing where you stand, but knowing where you stand. So like I mentioned, Newport, North Carolina. Where do you train in Newport? Because I was there and I don't ever remember there being much of a rodeo community up there.
Honestly, I grew up skateboarding, surfing. I was a beach bum. I never seen a bucking bull until I was 17, and I actually had to drive almost to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm sure you know where that's at, to get my practice and training in. Like the beach, there's not much for bucking bulls and cattle at the beach. So it was one of them things I had to do a little traveling, but the balance from the skating and surfing definitely helped and put me a step forward when I started getting on bulls. So.
Yeah, that's real, and it's true because you need that balance. You need the good core muscles to get, to stay centered on a bull. And we heard the announcers last night. They were talking, the bull riders, they're in there one-handed, and that one hand that they're using inside the ropes really not holding them on. It's more their legs and the spurs, right?
Exactly. It's a combination of everything. It's your hand's not going to hold you on, your legs aren't going to hold you on, your balance isn't going to hold you on. It's all a combination of both. Your hand is kind of your last resort.
Yep.
If you have to really lift and pull on your rope, you're out of shape, but it does buy you a second chance. Same way with your legs. If you're in the center riding them correct, it's effortless. The rope and your spurs and all that's for when you're kind of need a little hand getting back into position and just kind of buy you an extra second. So.
And you'll see that on some of the rides. You'll see the cowboys, they'll get that outside leg flaring.
Yeah.
They'll call it spurring it, they'll mark it. So the outside leg is really at that point when the bull is in a circle and spinning around and the cowboy's comfy, he'll take that outside foot and he'll start spurring into the side of the bull. And it's really not doing nothing to the bull.
It's more or less saying, like riding a bike with no hands. Say, look, no hands.
Yep,
I can
exactly
take one leg out. I'm dominant. I'm in control. I don't even need this leg to ride it right now. So it's not really hurting the bull. It's just for showing dominance. And if you're in a good enough spot to take your leg away and spur at him, you're in control. You're dominant. You're ready to go.
Yeah. So, again, listen, good luck today. We're
you,
going to be
sir.
rooting for you. We're sitting here. We appreciate you coming out and giving us a chat before your game today.
No problem.
But yeah, we'll be heading for you here in the shoots, and we'll see you at short go around, and then we'll see you up on the Shark Tank.
That's right.
Cage.
Hopefully I can get a winning interview after this deal's over with.
Absolutely. Brandon, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
your time.
Y'all have a good one.
This is Levi and Brandon Chambers for The Booth. What's your podcast doing?
All right, we're back here in the booth broadcasting live from the City of Champions. Hey, we got to thank Brandon Chambers for that interview. Good stuff. And before we get into this next quick interview with the winners of the tickets that we gave away, I got to mention, hey, it was like when me and Frank went down. Frank actually said in the chat, Frank said, you see riders now playing the points game and not taking those re-rides. And that was exactly the case on Sunday because everybody was getting bucked off on Sunday. At that time, there was only one guy who rode a bull, and it was like, okay, I'm just going to take that. I'm not going to do a re-ride because nobody else has made it into the points yet. Everybody was getting bucked off, and they stood up all these positions to fill. So yeah, they did play those points game. But I got to say, before we get into this next one, again, the animal activists were outside of this event. Like I want to say, it was like 4 women. They had their signs, and legally they have their right to assemble. They had their signs up and stuff like that. But one of the things that we've learned is that these animals, the bovines are the stars of the show. They're treated better than the bull riders themselves. People.
Yep.
The little 8 seconds of what goes on, and we talked about. You talked about that. These bulls can't even do so many bucks per day. There's actually a limit to how many bucks per day that they can go for. And a lot of the bulls that we did see, and thank you for Lee for telling me some of this stuff too. One of the things they talked about, they had another event. PBR actually had another event going on in Tallahassee, Florida. And so a lot of the riders were down there. A lot of the bulls were down there. So a lot of the bulls this weekend that we saw at the Velocity Tour were new bulls. You interviewed Mike Miller the last time in Hampshire. A lot of these bulls were young and new bulls. Some of these riders came up from Brazil. I believe they said they had shipped 16 riders up here from Brazil to fill this weekend's tournament. But there were some things I got to let Lee talk about real quick that you did notice, and you were telling me and instructing me about these young new bulls. There were some things you were explaining about how they leave the chute, because we did have one bull we did see that was a brand new bull, first time, and you said, he's probably not going to come back because you said the bull didn't exit the chute properly. This bull come out the chute and went right the fuck up. I got to swear, because this bull went right up, ass end up in the air and through. So I'm going to let you explain what went wrong there. Everybody was excited. Everybody cheered. But she was like, that wasn't a bad go for the bull.
It was bad. It was so when I get the score, 50% of the score is based on the rider's ability to stay on the bull and how comfortable he is on the back of the bull. Is he in control? Is he like falling off the side? Is what's going on? The other half is the bull's abilities. Is the bull bucking hard? So many different characteristics. And this one bull that we were referring to, the bull, when they opened the chute gate, the bull came charging out like almost at a full sprint. He got about 3 steps and then literally stopped and jumped to the, it was a dead stop. The cow, and these bulls, when they're learning, they learn. They get patterns to them. And a bull that runs out straight flat out like he's rear ends on fire and then stops it was like a freight train stop. Boom, hit a wall, and then goes the opposite direction. They'll take that bull back. They'll put him back in the program. They'll see what he can do if he changes his ways. Because the bulls, these bulls are smart. I'm not kidding you. They're smart. They know what's going on. They'll run that bull back at the ranch, see how he does with other riders on him. If he's doing the same thing, coming running out, hitting that brick wall, and then ducking to the opposite direction, they're probably not going to ride. They're probably not going to let that bull ride anymore. Just because you want the bull to perform as much as the cowboys do. It's 50% of the score. And if the cowboy cowboys can't stay, don't have a fighting chance on the bulls because the bull
he didn't.
He didn't.
This poor guy didn't.
He didn't have a chance if you gave him every chance in the world to cover that bull, because the bull just didn't perform the way he's not supposed to, but in a fair manner. It's kind of like I'm going to go back to the baseball analogy. Sure, you could throw a fastball, but what happens if you grease that ball up before you throw it down to the catcher? You put a little Vaseline on it, a little jalapeno from the old nose, little major league throwback there. Bull's not performing right. He's not going to make the grade. And the bull riders are judged as just as hard as the bulls are. And if the bulls ain't making the grade, literally they're put out to pasture. They may go into a breeding program with some of these ranches. Please don't think that bulls are sent to the house, because they're not. These bulls live out glorious days, even if they're not bucking. Most of them do end up in the breeding program, and they'll just hang out at the ranch and breed other potential bulls for the circuit. It's just part of the process, how the stock contractors go through these things. So that one bull, he definitely did not. He didn't perform the way he should. So,
right.
Yeah.
And actually, here's a weird thing. Before we get into this last clip for you to introduce, PBR on their Instagram page just has a rest in peace, remembering airtime. 2009 to 2025. Airtime passed away over the weekend.
Yeah, it's terrible news.
Another mean one they've lost. So that's 2 they've lost in these last 6 months. They've lost 2 major bulls. That they were up there though. These bulls lived a long life. This bull was almost 20 years old.
Airtime was a bull that really, he was one of the bulls that put PBR on the map. And they called him Airtime, not reasons why they call him Airtime, because he spent a lot of time in the air, but he also put a lot of cowboys in the air. And when I say put him in the air, it wasn't just the cowboy fell off the side of him, or the cowboy fell onto the ground. Airtime was notorious. Notorious for putting cowboys 10, 12, 13, 14 feet up in the air when they came off. The way he would buck, and he would just bounce them off his hindquarters. And these cowboys, Air Jordan ain't got nothing on Airtime. He put a lot of cowboys into outer space, that's for sure.
All right. Frank Zanowski says, yep, looking for nice tight spins and change of direction, which is what he was telling us when they're going through these. So we're going to set up this last clip here. This is the winners of our event. We gave away a couple of tickets thanks to the PBR, Casey Albert, This is Shannon and Rich. You were able to speak with them, man. They were real happy. It was during one of the intermissions, so please excuse the music, but we're able to get the we introduced this one here.
Yeah, just we saw him across the stadium, and we got a quick intermission break, and I nudged Keith. I said, "Let's go over. We're gonna go up on the mezzanine, and we're gonna scoot over there. We're gonna talk to them real quick." We just like to try to get keep interacting with the fans of the booth and all the Keith's podcasts. And it's nice to sit down with the fans. It gives us perspective for us that sit on the video screen to meet the fans in person and say thank you for their support and and it was just nice. It was good to sit down and have a quick little 30-second chat with them while everybody was going out to the bathrooms and hitting the concession stand. So.
And if you're watching this show and if you're in the chat, like I said, Casey Albert, she takes care of us. PBR takes care of us whenever we come out. Let us know, because Sinstorm Productions does do multiple shows here. And if I have to ask for multiple pairs of tickets to give away on Drafting the Circuits, give a set away on Oscar Mike Radio, give a set away on any of these Sinstorm Production shows, then I will ask for each show, and then we can give tickets away on a pair of tickets away on each show. So now we've multiplied the chances that people can win. I know a guy like Frank Zanowski probably wouldn't mind winning a pair of tickets to be able to check out a PBR event. Maybe Dave Haggerty if he wants to be up and ready to go. So these are the winners, Shannon and Rich, and then we're going to come back, and you've got some words that you want to say about the PBR before we get out of here.
And then we'll wrap it up.
Let's get into this. This is the winners, Shannon and Rich Gramazio. This was their first event. Here we go.
All right, there we go.
Hey, it's Levi with the booth.
I can cut it out. Yeah. We can go.
Hey, it's Levi with the booth. Drafting the Sinister One. I'm here with our ticket winners for PBR Velocity in Worcester. How y'all enjoying the show?
It's great.
This is awesome. Yeah. The seats are great. What do you think of the action with this tour?
I'll come back.
All right, first. Yeah. Lots of pyrotechnics, lots of fire. Glad they're having such a good time. Don't forget, check us out Tuesday. We'll see you there. What's your podcast doing?
Great stuff, enjoying their time. Felicia, what's going on in the chat? So I'm going to let you say what you got to say before we close out the show with these last bit of topics, quick topic.
So first of all, I want to thank the PBR and the PBR Velocity Tour and the Unleash the Beast Tour. The two experiences I've had in the last 3 months with the PBR and these organizations has been absolutely top notch. They take care of us, the media people. They absolutely value what we bring to the table as podcasters, because it's something to them that they may not have thought of. It's a value stream to their business, and I really do. PBR does a heck of a job. They put on a heck of a performance for the fans, and they really do take a good care of us and the media folks. We're putting a media section, and the people that are all around us are media credentialed folks. They work for, print media, radio stations. I think we were one of the only other. It was us, and there was one other podcast there. They really do take good care of us. They give us early access. They really do grant us, access to the stars. And they try to accommodate us every which way they can. And, as somebody in the media, it can be a tough battle sometimes trying to get these stars lined up to talk with us. But, Casey and Tyler, absolutely, above and beyond. And I couldn't be more grateful for the things that they do. And I look forward to working with them again down the road. Maybe some more events later on this year. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. I think it'd be really great, but I want to thank the PBR, the Velocity Tour, and the Unleash the Beast Tour for everything that they've done for Sinister One Productions this year. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been great. And Frank Zanowski's in the chat, and this is Frank when he hit me up years ago. He said, let's try to can we get in this? And got the press passes. And, you know, before Casey, the person we was dealing with, he also took care of us. We actually went to the after party and stuff, and you know, we had a great time. But you know, the championships this year is in Texas, Arlington, Texas, and you know, they've already said, you know, New York, she'd already asked if Lee wanted to show up. She's already asked us if we want to be involved with these other events, and hopefully we're looking to get Lee down to Arlington, Texas, because that's where the championships are going to be held this year. The Velocity Tour Championship is going to be in Corpus Christi, but the big overall one is going to be in Arlington, Texas, at Dallas Cowboys Stadium. So that is going to be, man, it was crazy. Yeah, and Frank is right, because back when we went, they had the Truth booth. Was when we went, and the guy had said, he told Frank, he's like, Frank had more knowledge than the ESPN guy that had interviewed people before us. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I let Lee talk when we interview and stuff, because I'm just a fan of the PBR. I don't have that knowledge like you and Frank do. And it shows. It showed during these interviews. You know, these guys, their body language, the way they responded to you, they didn't have that look on their face like, damn, is this the last question? I want to get the F out of here. You know what I'm saying? These guys stayed with you, shook your hand, cut another segment interview with the bull that they were going to ride. That's all good stuff. That's all positive stuff for Sinister One Productions. So if you're out here, if you're a new podcaster and you're looking how to learn stuff and how to do things with interviews, this is the show to watch. I'm not sitting here blowing smoke out my butt when I tell people, you know, what you need to do to get your podcast to a certain place, because there's a lot of people out there talking a lot of stuff and they don't know what the hell they're talking about to put a good product out. You know, just because you buy $3,000 worth of podcast equipment doesn't mean your podcast is great.
Listen, I'm talking to you on an iPad 2 with a pair of earbuds in my ears. I don't have a $3,000 setup.
Look, I haven't even.
Yeah.
I've got I've got Logitech mics that I got from Facebook Marketplace, brand new. I've got a Shure MV7 that Travis got for me as thanks for doing Oscar Mike Radio. It is one of the things that we've done. Frank Zanowski and I, we went down and covered the PBR. We actually partied with these guys, these little short Brazilian guys, and at that time there was a Philadelphia Eagle, and I forget the name. It was a defensive player. He was also there at that time. He was a big fan of the PBR, and he was covering it. But we actually got to party with these guys in the after party. It was a great time. Matt Cameron, Matty C actually had a chance to cover these guys. So I really want to thank PBR for all they do, and I'm looking forward to getting you down there and covering this championship event. I have no worries that you're going to go down there and kick ass at the championship.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Dude, I can't wait. So I got a couple of topics I got to blow through that I have to mention tonight, because
got to get them done.
They just got to get them done. A lot of there's no legal booth or Trump troubles tonight, because next week is First Tuesday with my legal guys, and I always end up tabling this stuff. So let's get into the news booth. In the news booth, there's been 87 confirmed accidents in the U.S. since January 25. But I got to tell people, stop it. Stop it. There's blaming this and blaming that. Stop it. Last year at this time, we had 127 airline crashes and incidents in this country. It's like the Brockton Hub. The Brockton Hub, a few weeks or months ago, the Brockton Hub was talking about all these accidents here in the city of Brockton. And everybody's going on and on and on about the accidents. And then what happens is that your phone analytics, your phone decides that, oh, this person's talking about this. Let's just put this narrative out here and spread this narrative. Then everybody's on board with talking about this issue. And I actually shared a website called Impact, which shows how many accidents happen in the city of Brockton. And we were right on our usual average. Brockton averages 18 to 20 car accidents per day because our kappa is so high. It's like 1% of the kappa. So that's what we average. So everybody's out there talking. So all these people now are out there talking about plane crashes, and we're actually below the average for right now. So let's just stop using this as a narrative. We're not over. It's the reason why you're hearing it all is because everybody's phones have been following this, and everybody's this. Frank Zanowski says He retires. Oh, Frank Zanowski was a police officer, so thank you for your service, Frank, for being a police officer. He says he's retiring in August, so I will have a lot more time for other things. Oh, okay, that would be a nice time to get Frank Zanowski. PBR. That'd be great. Frank Zanowski, you down there, both guys, veterans. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So let's get into my next topic, because we were in the news booth. And then let's see, is there one more topic in the... No, that's it. I'm going to get into the entertainment booth. In the entertainment booth, rest in peace, Roberta Flack, 88 years old, an absolute legend in music. She had suffered a stroke. Her health had went downhill. We were lucky to have her for this long after the stroke that she had. So Roberta Flack, 88 years old, rest in peace. Also in the news booth, entertainment booth, last week I talked about Prince's Purple Rain is going to be shown in the theaters on March 5th. I already said, don't bother me. Don't mess with me. I'm already telling the guys tomorrow night on Drafting the Circuits that we need to either do the show later or move the show on Wednesday, March 5th, because I'm going to be at Prince, Purple Rain. And then today they announced Star Wars 20th anniversary, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, remastered, is going to be shown in theaters on April 25th. So, hey, there's another day. Don't bother me. So the day, look, people, the days are adding up. March 5th is Prince Purple Rain re-release. April 25th is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith re-release. March 4th is Daredevil on Netflix, MCU. That's the new season. Then we have July 11th, Wu-Tang and Run the Jewels is coming to Boston, TD Bank, North Garden. The Don't Bother Me days are adding up quick.
Do you know what we call those days? We call those days DNE. Do not engage. Do not engage. Don't do it. Bad for your health.
Oh man, so I'm just letting
that
everybody...
warning on cigarette packs, that's DNE. Do not engage. Bad for your health.
Oh man, in the sports booth, hey, the only real big news coming out of the sports booth right now is that we have these international games. I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you. NFL has announced the games that will be played internationally next year in 2025. Right now, the Chargers are going to be playing in Brazil. The Colts are going to be playing in Berlin, Germany. The Dolphins are going to Madrid. The Steelers are going to Dublin. I got to figure out who they're going to match up to play the Steelers. Look, okay, let's talk about this real quick. If you're a football fan, if you're in Ireland and the NFL's coming to Ireland, Dublin, and you've got the Steelers, man, you want the Bengals. You want the Bengals. You want a fight night.
Yep.
You want a fight.
You know
night.
what? Listen, I think the NFL, when they go to Ireland next year, I think what they need to do is sub out the football teams and sub in the Canadians and the Americans, and we'll have a hockey match. We'll call it football, and we have. Because it is what it is,
right?
And we'll have 3 fights in like 9 seconds. We'll be good.
That's my prediction. I think the NFL, that's an easy one. That should just be Steelers, Bengals. Just let them battle it out in Dublin. They'll love it. The other game, they got the Jaguars going back overseas to London. Trash. And then they give London the Cleveland Browns against the Jets.
What?
What did London do so bad that the NFL got to do that to them?
Do they even have teams anymore?
That's not even a marquee game. What game are you giving us, London? London says to the NFL, what game are you giving us next year? We're going to give you the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Why you treat me so bad?
Might as well go back to like USFL and give them the Boston Breakers and like.
Oh, that's horrible.
It's terrible.
That's a horrible matchup. That's horrible. And you give them 2 games and you give them. So London gets 2 games and they're getting the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Jets. That's just It's not even a marquee matchup.
No.
Horrible.
No, maybe the bookies will have something to say. Maybe the bookies will have something to say about it. They'll change it.
Frank just said Unleash the Beast tour usually has a stop in New Hampshire in December. Yes. Lee actually went there. That was Lee's first event that Lee covered, was that.
Yep.
Frank Zanowski on the NFL games, the London games, he says garbage.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage. Oh man, and that's it in the sports booth. There's actually there's no legal booth or Trump troubles because I've got my guys coming on next week, so I usually table it anyway for these guys. We got the beanies that you guys see here. Let me get into the up and coming events that we've got coming here. Thank you for everybody with the beanies. For our up and coming events, it's 8:32, so we do have some time. Drafting the circuits. Levi will be back with me tomorrow night. We'll be talking about Atlanta. Lee's going to try to talk a little bit about this E1 electric speedboat racing, and then the other shows I produce. You Are the Star karaoke every first Friday at Brockton Beer Company. Make sure to come down there and sing your song. March, I'm working on a theme for March. I will let you know. Brockton Beer Company is open now for lunch and dinner. Kids eat free Monday through Wednesday. Take advantage. Get down there because it's school vacation week. This one here was given to me from someone in Kentucky. This is someone who watches the show in Kentucky. Sent me this to let you know that the Journey Church in Kentucky is doing a food pantry. Sunday Wake and Bake, NAP, 20% off all pre-rolls every Sunday, 10 to 1. And then Stay Young Fitness. That was Lionel Young. He is on the show, a friend of mine, MMA fighter. He is also Jalen Brown's personal trainer. He does a thing here every Saturday for free. And then the Bridgewater Fire Department is hiring firefighters and paramedics. Please apply online. Help fill that up. I believe it's March 20th, I think, is when they close it out. And there's the new updated Stay Young Fitness flyer. 508-232-8152 is the number. And then IGY6, that is Travis's Poddington's event. 2 Lives at Once, Amber Smith. That's going to be at the American Legion on March 14th. And then, hey, Frank Zanowski's in the chat. South Shore Hot Sauce Expo takes place March 22nd, 12 to 5. Get your tickets. The hottest of the hot, they say. Woo! Multimedia Expo takes place this weekend at Lynn Tech. That is Newbie Rateau's Productions event. And then April 19th is the Remy TV Influencer Awards. My artist, Veana Marie, is nominated for Best Female Hip Hop. She's the official nominee. We will be walking the red carpet on April 19th. Also on April 19th, which I'm going to miss, Wicked Comic Con. Free admission this year, 10 to 5, Wicked Comic Con. Scan that code. And then, like I said, April 25th, DNE, as my man Lee said, 20th anniversary. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Look, that was one of the good ones, too. That Hayden Christensen, all Bat Blessings are free, but Hayden Christensen, when he force chokes Padawan, and when he kills the younglings, the Jedi younglings, and you don't even see it, but you knew it was bad. Like, you knew it was bad. So, also, as I mentioned, July 11th, don't mess with me. Don't bother me. DNE. Wu-Tang Clan with Run the Jewels at TD Bank North Garden. And hey, Broken Chain Biker Church. Broken Chain Biker Church. You see it right there. Iron Horse Outlaw, 2005. $20 a ticket. You can buy 5 tickets. You have a chance to win that custom lime green motorcycle, which is going to be drawn March 30th. $20 a ticket. $100 will get you 5. And hey, that's it. I want to thank everybody for coming on the show.
Listen, support Ironhead Tom over there at Biker Church. He's a good guy. Does a lot for the community. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit! Small world.
Very well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Small world. So you saw the bike that they're raffling off?
I used to live right around the corner from the church.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a beautiful bike, people. Yeah. That's $20 a ticket. That's just 5 tickets right there. That's the $100 pocket money that you don't tell the wife you got. Oh man, but that's it. It's 8:30. I gotta get ready to get out of here. Like I said, this guy Lee, he's gonna be on with me tomorrow night for Drafting the Circus. I'm gonna let you say your goodbyes and plug your social media. And plug your business.
Oh yeah. Follow me on the socials, Instagram Lee_Vi, VAI, and then also Southern New Hampshire area, Seacoast area. Springtime is just upon us. You might want to stop by this little food thing. It serves coffee only. It's called Black Cat Provisions. Come by, get you a cup of coffee. Remember, our beverages are wicked hot, so please sip responsibly. That's it, folks. See you tomorrow night, Drafting the Circuits. Keith, thank you as always. It was great spending the weekend with you. Lots of laughs, lots of good stories, and one damn good breakfast on Sunday. I gotta say that. So,
like I said, my breakfast is still sitting in the fridge, so I can eat it. I got it. So for those who know, we went to Little Miss Worcester Diner.
Oh yeah,
and I got a Reuben omelet with corned beef hash, crispy, and then I decided to get the rye toast on the side with baked beans.
Boston baked beans. Yeah.
I couldn't even.
I went low, and I just had the old fashioned biscuits and gravy with a side.
You clean that plate.
Oh yeah, there was nothing left of that. I do some damage on them biscuits and gravies. I will do some damage. I will put it in.
Lee, clean that plate, boy.
I will judge a diner by their biscuits and gravy. I will absolutely judge if I'm going to eat there again by the way they give me them biscuits and gravy. So
yeah, if you're in the Worcester area and you're looking for a place for a good breakfast, put that in.
Gotta go there.
Diner.
It
is top notch. It is a little diner. There's a little bit of a wait, to get in, but the food is worth it. The prices were cheap, and I shared it. Like I said, I'm in the top 3% for Google reviews. So if you see Sinister One on Google reviews and you look it up, you'll see it. And I think I posted the menu and stuff on my Facebook page of that diner, and I tagged Lee. And I've got
tell him about that. Tell him about that one menu that we saw. The one menu.
This place didn't only just have one menu. The Little Miss Worcester Diner had one separate 2-page, but just French toast of all different. Look, they had their regular menu with the omelets, the bennies, all that. But then they had the nerve, the audacity to have a friggin' menu with just French toast. They had stuffed Oreo cookie French toast. They had Reese's peanut butter stuffed French toast. They had cinnamon bun flavored French. Stop it.
Peanut butter and fluff French story. Butter and fluff French toast. If that ain't New England, I don't know what is.
Oh man, Frank Sinowski says he's on his way to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire this weekend. Is the truck open this weekend? Or no?
No, weather's not looking so hot this weekend. So
okay, all right.
But we did. It was in the 50s today, so we lost about half an inch of snow. So that's positive.
Okay.
By July 4th, we should be good.
Okay, Frank says he's heading up. Frank, make sure to follow this guy. And SpongeBob, hey, it's 8:40. I got to get ready to do Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor at 9:30. So SpongeBob, do me a favor. Take us home.
Well, see you next Tuesday. Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I made You don't repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak ass hoes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip. I don't need that shit, cause I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Whisky.com.
Enter website, enter website, enter website, enter website.